Hello fellow gamers, and welcome to the Round Table, a place where we discuss our most anticipated titles of the week on the gaming frontier. My name's Jace.
And I'm Chris.
And this week, our part 1 covers a franchise that spans back to the start of the millennia in 2000. And that's just Total War. With the new Total War, Sega are giving their series a complete makeover, combining their real-time strategy with the universe of Warhammer, a legacy going back as far as 1983.
Well, that time is finally upon us. We've been waiting for a long time, but we need to wait no more. The guys at Creative Assembly have finally teamed up with Games Workshop and have matched together two franchises that are perfect for one another: Grand Strategy Gaming and Warhammer. Be prepared to unleash all manner of monstrosity, use any form of magic, and heck, even raise the dead if you fancy it, to wage war in the realm and take it over once and for all. We've been waiting for a long time, but it's finally here. Total War Warhammer.
Savage greenskins, a brutal tide of fang and muscle.
It feeds, it grows, devouring all. There must be a final answer to halt its advance, but the tide of war seems endless.
So before we jump into the actual game itself, I'm going to take a little bit of time to just discuss the sudden uptake in Warhammer games coming about for the PC. In the past we've had some great games come out of there. For example, the Dawn of War series was great for the 40k franchise, and we've also had games from a range of genres such as third-person action games with Warhammer Space Marine, all the way to Blood Bowl, Mordheim and even Battlefleet. Truly, if you're a Warhammer fan of any kind, right now is a great time to be a PC gamer, and with the release of Total War Warhammer, things are only looking to get better.
To be honest, I haven't actually touched anything Warhammer, whether it be the games or the tabletop. I sort of saw Warhammer mainly as a tabletop game. So when I was younger, I'd never touched the tabletop side of it. I sort of avoided the games because I thought maybe it's not worth me playing these games because I'm not really too clued in on the lore of the Warhammer universe.
Yeah.
And I know there's a huge fan base behind it. I mean, you yourself was quite into Warhammer, both games and the tabletop.
Yeah, for me, the whole, well, I guess love affair started with the tabletop side of it, where I played 40k initially, because I do love me some Space Marines. But you know, as the games have been coming out and whatnot, you know, I also got involved with the Warhammer side of it. There was the MMO, for example, Age of Reckoning, that I had a bloody good time in. But really, starting from the Dawn of War franchise, both of those games were really good, all the way down to Blood Bowl, Vermintide, which I keep trying to get people to play, but for some reason nobody wants to play Left 4 Dead Warhammer with me, so that upsets me. You should buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the appeal, but as I said, it's just I've always avoided those games because of the Warhammer lore, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about it, really. I'm kind of glad you mentioned the lore, because it's not just the tabletop side of it, which I guess does daunt a lot of people. Like, it's got its own set of books, its own universe, you know, and all these games that kind of build on that and teach the lore as you go along, really. But there's a lot of stuff for you to go through: strategy, RPG, sport. You know, there's so much stuff for you to get stuck into. Alright, so we've had a bit of a chat about the franchise itself. Let's get down to the game. So, with the prestigious history that Total War has, it's going to be interesting to see how Creative Assembly have managed to take the unique interactions in Warhammer games and managed to apply that to, well, what has been in the past a very serious and historically themed franchise. We're going to be getting vampires and orcs instead of Romans and Greeks this time around, and let's not forget there's other systems to throw in there, such as magic and how each race is going to behave.
Yeah, and to be honest, the whole aesthetic of it is going to be pretty cool as well, because I've always loved to see a game from sort of the Total War franchise delve into the sort of fantasy pot and see what they can pull out, really. And Warhammer seems like a really good platform for them to sort of explore these options as well, especially when it comes to the sieging side of it. You know, sieging castles and towns, you usually have your own catapults and, you know, your battering rams and such, but with all these different types of races in Warhammer, you've got so many options to play around with.
Yes.
You know, gone are the generic battering rams and catapults and stuff. in are these giant troll-like guys that can just bash doors down. That just looks awesome. And you know, dragons flying around. Like, come on, who wouldn't love that sort of stuff? And I've had a look at the other races as well, and you know, I've had a look through some of the trailers.
Yeah.
One that really stood out for me, and I've always loved like necromancy and that side of things. The vampiric counts. They look really cool.
Yeah, they are pretty badass, and it kind of plays into this whole system that they're going to have going on, where each race will just, you know, behave completely differently from the other one. So, like the vampiric lords that you mentioned, they can raise the dead. So, just imagine the strategy options for that one. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a battle of attrition then, isn't it?
well, that's it. Like, you're throwing zombies at people, and it's like, well, kill them. I don't care. I'll just get some more. You know, like for every one of you I kill, I'll just have another one on my army. You know, that kind of stuff. And you know, it's not just the vampiric lords that play differently. Like the orcs are hyper aggressive. Like they always want to be fighting. So you know, there's going to be bonuses for when orcs are doing that. And I believe like if you can actually unite the orc forces, that's goblins and trolls and all that, you actually form a war party called and you like this a wag.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, and it's essentially just this massive warband that just decimates everything. It's really good what they've done with the whole game, and you know, I'm just so excited to just get the grips with it and play each race and see how all these different factions play out.
Make a fine addition to my army.
Stout dwarfs, all but unbreakable in battle and unmatched in close combat.
So we've talked about what we can expect when the game launches, but Creative Assembly have got some big plans for this. They said in the future they're going to be creating some standalone expansions and content packs to create the biggest Total War experience ever. And let's not forget, it's also going to be launching with full mod support. Possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they are. They honestly are. With so many games coming out nowadays without mod support, you know, with those tools in the right hands, you've got a universe that can just span for as long as it can go. And in the case of Warhammer, that's perfect, because it's a series that's lasted over the span of 30 years. It's, you know, it's perfect for that.
There's definitely plenty of whatever the fans want to get stuck into. You know, like they could even bring about mods for the newer stuff, 40k even. But, you know, just looking back at some of the more, I guess, official stuff, it'll be nice to see maybe some new races and factions in there. So, like, on the race front, I'd really love to command an army of Skaven. They were kind of my favourite unit in Warhammer. They're basically rat people. And they're little sneaky buggers. And I don't know why they were just my favourite. But there's also, like, lizard men and elves. They've not been mentioned. And then there's factions within that as well. There's like Chaos Dwarves, there's Dark Elves, and then Tomb Kings, which are a faction of the undead or the vampire counts, you know. And there's just so many possibilities. It could be so huge, and then mod support on top of that. I don't see how this is a bad buy, to be honest. Well, once more we're unfortunately out of time, and just discussing the emergence of Warhammer in PC gaming is a big enough topic in itself. But for now, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on Total War Warhammer and seeing all that's in store for the game, both from the developers and the fans. Also, leading my first WAG into bloody victory over my opponent is something I can't wait to do. If you're itching to unleash some mayhem in Total War Warhammer, be sure to head on over to Steam and grab it now. See you on the battlefield. So that's the end of part 1 of this week's episode of the Roundtable. If you want to catch part 2, where we're going to be talking about Overwatch, you can click below for that, or if you fancy checking out last week's Roundtable, where we talked about Homefront: The Revolution and Last Fight, or even check out our summary of releases for this week, you'll also find those links to the bottom. If you've got anything you'd like to say to us, you can find our Facebook at /TGFrontier, or if you want to condense it down into 140 characters, be sure to give us a tweet at TGFrontier. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.